Our headlines today. Israel orders more than 1 million people in the north of Gaza to move to the south of the territory within 24 hours. The UN warns the ultimatum will have devastating humanitarian consequences.
The British government is sending warships and aircraft to support Israel. Downing Street says the deployment will bolster security.
A move to improve the safety of breakdown recovery workers. They'll be allowed to use red flashing lights to cut the number of roadside accidents.
Good morning. In sports, Scotland's Euro party is on hold for now. On a frustrating night in Spain, they slide to defeat, but can still qualify for Euro 2024 over the weekend to make up for the disappointment of last night.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
And we meet the man behind the Rocket Man. Bernie Taupin talks about his career writing hit songs for Elton John.
3 North London Jewish schools have now asked families to keep their children at home today because of the risk of violence on the streets. The Metropolitan Police has issued a statement saying there is no place for hate crime in London and they're ready to help anyone who's been affected by prejudice, ignorance or violence. The force said it would take action on any hate crime reported. Up to 1.5 million homes in the UK could face a higher flood risk by 2080 due to rising seas caused by melting Arctic sea ice. This, according to a group of MPs. The committee said the increasing sea levels were set to erode British coastlines and place homes in jeopardy, with the Thames Barrier, designed to protect the capital from flooding, likely to need an upgrade to cope with higher tides. The protester who poured glitter over Sir Keir Starmer has apologised for touching the Labour leader without warning. Yaz Ashmawi said he really regretted frightening Sir Keir at the party's conference, but he didn't regret disrupting the speech or using glitter. Negotiations between major Hollywood studios and actors were suspended yesterday, meaning the production of some shows and films could remain on pause. Members of the Actors' Union, SAG-AFTRA, have been on strike since July. They've been in dispute over pay and the use of artificial intelligence. Now, perhaps you could be walking around with a pocket full of bees, dormice and red squirrels soon. Let me explain. They all feature on a new set of coins to celebrate the reign of King Charles. Every coin features an animal or plant on its tail side to reflect the King's love of the natural world. Other images include a puffin, a leaping Atlantic salmon and an oak leaf. They'll be in circulation by the end of this year, but, as always, coins with older designs will remain legal tender. Now, we've had some news come through just within the last few minutes. The biggest deal in the history of video games has been given the go-ahead.
Tower Bridge will be closed to traffic this weekend, so essential maintenance can be carried out. Engineers will be replacing 4 2-metre-long bolts which lock the bridge when it's lowered. TfL has agreed to scrap the congestion charge for drivers using the diverted route over Southwark Bridge. Work will take place from 7:30 tomorrow until Monday morning. Now, thousands of Madonna fans will start to arrive here in London later ahead of the first night of her Celebration World Tour, which kicks off at the O2 tomorrow.
Bring you up to date with the front pages of the newspapers. The Guardian is reporting that the United States has pledged to send more weapons to Israel in advance of an expected ground assault in Gaza, whilst the UN warns of a looming humanitarian crisis.
Let's have a look at the front page, Daily Mirror. Royal Navy on way as a British military task force heads to the eastern Mediterranean. The Daily Mail reporting the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has told police chiefs to get a grip on anti-Israel hate as 2 Jewish schools in London said they were closing to protect their pupils.
And the Sun newspaper shows a picture of an 8-year-old girl. Her name's Emily, who was killed by Hamas. The paper criticises the FA for refusing to light up Wembley's arch in Israeli colours before tonight's friendly match against Australia.
Now, Australians go to the polls this weekend in an historic referendum on whether or not to recognise Indigenous people in their constitution and create a body that would advise governments on issues that affect their communities. The
referendum was proposed as a way to try to unite the country, but the campaigns have bitterly divided people.
Well, let's take a look then at the stories making the front pages this morning. The Express there leading on what it calls horrific images released on the reported murder of Israeli babies by Hamas. Israel shows mutilated babies, the headline there on the front of the Times. On its front page, the Telegraph warning readers that it's showing one of those images on an inside page because it thinks it's vital to do so. The Sun there focusing on one murdered child and asks why the FA will not light up Wembley in Israeli colours tonight. While the FT focuses on the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken's assertion that both Israel and Hamas should ensure that civilian casualties are kept as low as possible going forward. The Eye says Britain has made the same plea to both sides as the Royal Navy and RAF are deployed to the area. And that story and the promise of US arms for Israel is also leading The Guardian. The Mail reporting there that Rishi Sunak has told police to get a grip on incidents of anti-Israeli hate. The Metro there reporting on the ex-Formula One boss Bernie Ecclestone pleading guilty to fraud, or as the paper puts it, he's pulled a fast one. And the Daily Star there warning us about an invasion of bedbugs hiding in our furniture. Not in mine, I can assure you they will not survive. And if you want to see any of those front pages again or read the stories, just scan the QR code on your screen.